Hello everyone, welcome to your yoga challenge today. Day 11, I think? No, day 12. I don't know what day it is, the next day, after yesterday. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to work on another balancing posture, which hopefully you watched the previous challenge on balancing postures last week. Balancing is really great in this season because it really grounds you, really helps you feel connected to the earth, and it also really forces you to drive in your focus on what you're doing and just kind of training your brain. So I'm going to let you do your warm-up on your own. Make sure you get into all your joints, just rotating them, getting movement in the spine, in your shoulders, elbows, wrists, as well as your hips, and out into the legs. Get those muscles warm, hold your plank for a while, do some down dogs, some chaturanga. And then when you're ready, join me for Bakasana, or crow pose. So this is an arm balance. And the thing about arm balance is, in addition to the benefits of balanced postures that I just spoke about, is that they are really empowering and really invigorating. You have to work really hard. It takes a lot of time and trial and error and effort to find it, to get into it. And once you do, it's an incredible feeling. And even if you fall out of it, even if you can't quite get it, I think it's still really invigorating. You're trying. You're pushing those limits. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy it. I hope it's invigorating for you. Just make sure that you are listening to your body and never push too far. So find that edge and honor it. So for Bakasana, or crow pose, some people find that it is helpful to have a block available on your mat in front of you. And basically it's going to be there as a support if you start to fall forward, just kind of to help you catch yourself. And really it's just to help you feel safer. It's a scary pose trying to find this kind of balance on your hands. And so sometimes that just makes people feel better. And sometimes just feeling a little bit safer will help you actually find the pose, find your balance in it. Because the trick with Bakasana is that, if you haven't been able to find, to hold it, to get into that posture yet, what was true for me and what I found to be true with others is that you're just afraid of leaning forward as much as you need to. You really have to go a lot further than you initially feel comfortable with. But once you do that, you find it, and it's not quite so much of a struggle. It's still a lot of strength to hold it, but the balance is just, you've naturally found that balance point. So something to keep in mind as we move forward is just that need to really lean into it, bring yourself forward. So the block can be there just as something to, if it makes you feel better, you're not going to fall forward onto your face on the mat. You'll be able to kind of catch yourself with the block. You can also just put a blanket on your mat if you don't feel like you need, or as you're moving forward, you don't quite feel like you need to have the block there, but you still want a little bit of extra cushion. So if you are using a block, you're going to want it pretty far in front of your hands. So I would say at least 6 inches, maybe even a little bit more. Because you want it to be in a position just so that your forehead can rest on it. And this is the height that I would recommend. You can put it up on the higher end and actually have a point of contact as you lean forward. Don't put a lot of pressure into your forehead because you don't want to crunch up your neck. But it can help to have just that extra point of contact to give you the confidence to go into it. But if you just want it to be there in case you start to go too far forward to catch you, put it on this kind of like middle level. So, having that in place, about 6 to 8 inches in front of the tips of your fingertips, we're going to come to start just into a squat, right? So feet are wide, if you can, bringing the heels all the way down to the ground, or having a blanket or something under your heels to help just have that support there. So knees are wide, and you're going to bring from this position, you want to tuck your knees up into the back of your armpits. So really up as high as you can on your arm. Really trying to get it up into that armpit. And that's going to be, as you come up, you're going to, triceps are going to be really super engaged, biceps as well, but most of it here, and your knees are going to be pressing into your armpits. So just feel that out here. Just with your hands on the mat, knees in the armpits. Squeeze those knees in. Squeeze your core in. And just get a sense of that feeling. That's what you're going to want happening when you're lifted up into the pose. So, place your hands on the mat, about shoulder width apart or slightly wider. Fingers are wide, just like with our plank, our down dog. Really trying to distribute the weight through the whole hand. So, gripping those fingertips down, pressing hands down into the mat. And you're just going to lift the heels up first. So we're starting to lean forward a little bit. Lean forward a bit more. Pull the core in. Feel the knees squeezing into the armpits, and lift just one foot to start. Feel that out. Maybe step that foot down and lift up the other foot. Feel your weight moving forward. Your gaze is down on your mat in front of you. Lower that foot down. Come down for a moment. Catch your breath. Once again, placing the knees up high in the armpits, squeezing them in, place the hands down. We're going to come up again. So leaning forward, lifting the hips, pull the core in, squeeze the knees onto the armpits. Lift that one foot up. If you feel stable here, try lifting that other foot. Maybe you just lift it up for a second. That's okay. Just keep trying. Give yourself a break when you're coming down again. Relaxing the shoulders. Stretch it out. We're going to give it another try. So, again, you can have the heels lifted. Place the knees into the armpits. Place the hands. Fingers are spread wide. Heels are lifted. Start to pull the core in, lifting the hips, squeeze the knees, slide forward, coming onto tippy toes, lifting one foot, maybe the other. Draw the toes together if you have both feet lifted. Pull the core in. Keep your gaze down on the mat in front of you. Keep squeezing the knees in, If you have both feet lifted, see if you can straighten the arms. Keep the core pulling in. Feel a lifting up. Hold it for as long as you can. And then gently lean back and bring the toes down. So, that's hard work. Come down to a seat. Keep giving it a try. If you want to. And wherever you are is great. If you can just lift one foot up off the ground, that's a great start. Keep switching out which foot you're lifting up. Keep pulling that core in, squeezing the knees into the armpits. Shoulders are exteriorly rotated, pressing hands down. And just keep playing with it. Try leaning forward so that your weight just naturally, you just lift off of your toes, right? That's where that just magical balancing point is bringing your center of gravity a little bit further forward. So just play with where that is. Feel it out. Even maybe you keep the toes on the ground and you just rock forward slightly, coming back. Play with the block in front of you. Play with resting your forehead on it. Make sure it's out there so you're not like scrunching out to get your block, to get your forehead to your block. Make sure it's pretty far in front of your fingertips. And yeah, as you feel stronger with just one foot lifted, try lifting that other foot up. Lean forward a little bit, just bring the weight off your toes. If you can get both feet up, bring toes together, squeeze those knees in, squeeze the core in. Try to straighten those arms. Feel a lot of lifting energy, right? As you squeeze those muscles in tight, feel as if the weight lifts off of your hands. So, like I said, play with it, have fun with it, and just be happy where you are and what you're able to do, because it's great. It took me probably a couple years actually to before I first really connected with this pose and was able to do it and find some ease in it. And that's really that magic in yoga, is finding incredible strength simultaneously with ease, right? So particularly in the mind. So have fun with that. Good luck. Really work on loosening up your wrists after you do this. So obviously a lot of strain in the wrists. So you can just bring the backs of your hands down onto the mat, just stretching them out. Just holding it there a little bit. Another really good thing, also if you feel tension in the forearms as well as the wrists, when you're in your squat, bring your wrists under your knees and then just squat back down. So there'll be, just places a lot of pressure into that wrist and forearm. Just hold it for 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, and then come out. See how that feels. That always gives a really big relief on those muscles all up in here for me. So, as always, let me know if you have questions. Let me know how things are going. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.